Hey, everybody, how's it going today? Good morning and welcome to the show. And today we have a very special broadcast. We have with us a very talented artist out of Peru, does some great work, and he is in the comic book industry. And let's welcome Elliot Rodriguez.
Hey, how's it going? What's
Good,
going on?
man. Hey,
How you
just
doing,
another
Mr.
beautiful
Wookie?
day.
Sweet.
uh, there we
Hello,
go. Let's
Aardvark.
make it equal.
Yeah, sweet.
So, how you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Excited to be here. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, just great to be on and to get to chill out and talk a little bit about comics and art and everything else.
Yeah, I'm very excited that you're here. I've been following you on Twitter for over a year, and
Yeah,
you do some awesome stuff.
thank you.
And basically, we can start with basic questions. So, like, how did you get started drawing?
I started drawing when I was 8. I remember that age because I remember I was in class and I was in art class, and then the teacher gave us an assignment to draw a plant. She'd put a plant at the center of the table, and she'd ask us all at the table to draw it. And I vividly remember that moment. And so I did what she said. She asked us to draw the plant. I drew the plant, and then I was like, okay, here's my work, miss, and teach. And uh and yeah, everybody else at the table saw it, and it was slightly better than the other kids, and I got praise. I got a lot of praise for it, and I was like, wow, okay, I guess I'm pretty good at drawing, so I continued doing it. Um, and then as I got older, jumped into reading comics with Marvel and Spider-Man and the TV shows that were going on back then, and that
Uh-huh.
would be my thing. I would like draw superheroes, and people will dig it, and then I'd meet other artists, and then they would draw superheroes also, and then we get like in this competitive back and forth of who can draw superheroes better than the other, and yeah, I mean that's how I got my start as an artist, and but I didn't get serious into it, or as serious as I am now, until like about maybe 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago, when I came back into art, and I started looking into like inking and other things that are a little bit more technical in terms of art, and yeah, so I'm just gonna continue working on it, and I feel like I've gotten better over the months, over the years, and I'll just continue to work on it.
Cool. So, when did you ever think you would be doing, comic book art and be at this stage of your life?
Uh,
Because I know
no,
backstage you talked about you went to university and stuff like that.
yeah, no,
There in
yeah,
Peru.
yeah. I all of the art that I did when I was younger was during my high school and middle school years, and it was just something that I did when I was bored, because like I always put emphasis first in getting my schoolwork done and doing things like that,
Hmm.
and then when I came here, also when I started studying in university here, I put my emphasis towards that, and just other things that happen in life, just getting married and then settling down,
Hmm.
getting your family together, getting your home in order and things like that. And so our drawing was always on the back burner, but after I graduated, from university, I had so much free time on my hands because I wasn't doing any homework or any projects or anything like that. So in that free time, I decided to pick up a pencil again and start drawing, and then um, yeah, and then from there, I mean, I started to just really research and study and find out how I could get better. Um, and I discovered inking, and inking when I was younger. I thought that it was just like tracing. Like, all they do was just go over the pencils, and then how difficult could that be? No, but when I started inking myself, it was like, no, it's really difficult, and you have to be skilled at it, because you make a mistake, and it's not like you can erase it again. And then no, you have to like be
Right.
really really precise with it. So yeah, I was practicing and practicing, um, and yeah, I mean, I didn't think I'd get this far to where I'm posting more frequently on Twitter, where I'm able to like I have a YouTube channel also, and I post drawing videos. I mean, I didn't think it would get to that, but I'm glad it did, because I was able to get further with my art, and I was also able to meet great people, including yourself, and be here on this channel, and hang out with you fine people, and yeah. So I'm
thank you, man.
great.
I
So I'm happy.
appreciate it.
I'm doing good. Excellent.
So, let's see. Did you have any favorite comics growing up? Any particular?
Yeah, I was drawn to comics from Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is he's my favorite superhero. He's my number one favorite superhero. What drew me in was half of it was like the TV show, the animated show that was on back then, and also the Amazing Spider-Man comics from those days with that had Mark Bagley on the art doing the artwork, and his Spider-Man for me, because I grew up with him, his Spider-Man is like the definitive Spider-Man for me. And I just really liked how he did art, how he did his comics, and I was just blown away by the artwork, by the superhero, by the bad guys like Venom and Carnage in those comics. And then after I read about Spider-Man, I jumped into X-Men, and I jumped into a bunch of other comics. I remember the Image comics from back in the day also were really good. Spawn, The Darkness, and I really like that style of art, and I tried to emulate that. And yeah,
when I worked for Toys R Us, one of the biggest selling action figures was Spawn, Tim McFarlane.
Oh, yeah,
All McFarlane toys for Spawn, man.
Yeah, his toys were revolutionary. Like before him, they were pretty dull, and then after him, like it was really like. I was always wondering, like, how come you can't make the toy look just like in the comic? Like, what's
Actually,
so difficult?
Todd McFarlane. I'm sorry, I think it said Tim. It's
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane. Yeah.
He did really good work with that.
Yeah, he did.
He did really good work.
So I went to your Instagram page, and by the way, for everybody listening, I did put Elliot's link in the description for his YouTube channel. Some great stuff.
Oh,
I wanted to ask you. I saw some videos, my friend. Tell me about the Q-tip trick.
Yeah,
that is awesome, dude. You mentioned it in your video. Who gave you the idea?
The thing was that I watch a bunch of videos of different artists, and I try to like, and they do some things that I try to like see if I could imitate that also. And one thing that I saw that I really like are these storm clouds that Jim Lee does in the background of his artwork. And in his videos, he does it with a napkin. Like he'll put ink on a napkin, and then he'll use a napkin against the board and give it that effect as if it were a storm cloud. So when I tried doing it the first time, it came out horrible. It came out completely horrible, and I didn't know like what it was that he was doing. And because it came out horrible, I was like, I have to find a solution to this. I have to find out how he does that. And so I grabbed a bunch of different things and put ink on it and see if I could like get that effect to it. And I saw a Q-tip, and I was like, well, it looks like it could give me that kind of effect if I sprinkle it a little bit. And so I dipped it in there and I put it on, and it gave me the complete opposite effect. Like I wanted it to like have like a blurred effect, but no, it was just a big blop. And I was like, this isn't going to work. But then when I started moving it around, I mean, it covered the page really good, and it's a whole lot faster. I'm assuming that a brush would be a whole lot faster because you can just brush the whole thing out. But I don't use any brushes. I don't have any brushes, so the Q-tip worked out for me. When that accident happened for me, I was able to use that as a solution. And yeah, the Q-tip works great. It doesn't leave any pencil marks or pen marks, because normally
brush marks.
Because normally like when you see an artist like who's been inking with the black, when they work on it, you'll see like how and what pattern they've been coloring it in, and you can see those strokes. And I personally don't like that. I like to have it as black as possible. And so when I discovered that, I was completely happy because it just leaves like a nice clean black finish on it. And yeah.
What is your Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I wanted to show that off and share that in the video. I thought that people would like it, and yeah, I'm glad that you liked it, and yeah, that was how that came about. Yeah.
So, do you find that it's more conducive to use things like brush pens versus regular, say, like a Sharpie?
Yeah, I actually used the Sharpie when I first started, and I noticed that the colors are slightly off. A Sharpie is like it's almost got like a bluish hue to it,
Yeah, I know what you
and
mean. Yep.
and the China ink pens, the tech pens, they give you like a nice clean black to it,
Mm.
and I didn't care at first about that difference, so I used both.
Yeah.
Some of my earlier pieces have that Sharpie and the China ink on it. But then I discovered, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read that Sharpies, they fade out quickly. Like over time, the black will become gray and it will just fade out. And so I didn't want that, so I decided to check into these, and yeah, these work great. I could also technically use a crow quill or a brush, but I don't know if I'm skilled for that because, like, I've seen some people work with those, and I don't know if I'm able to emulate that. But I guess one of these days I'll have to give it a shot and see how it works.
Are you in Peru? I don't know if they have them, but I know they're real popular up here for a lot of artists. It's Copic markers. You guys
Yeah,
have those there?
yeah, we have Copics here also. And for some reason, I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance yet to grab some.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the first thing that pops up, the easiest thing to grab a hold of. Just give me a second. I'll show you. Yeah, the easiest thing to get are these. I don't know if you can see this. These Faber Castell pens. They work really good. These are the easiest things to get here, and and you have to go to specific art stores to get these microns. And I found an art store that imports a lot of stuff from Japan, and I was able to find um, these are called these Tombow pens that work really good,
Oh yeah,
and
Tombow.
and yeah, and yeah, I mean, we have Unipens here. There's
Oh yeah,
Copics
it's
also here. There's Copics here also, but I haven't had a chance to try those out yet. I'll have to pick some up because
I,
yeah, I want to see
I
what the fuss is about.
I used to have
Yeah.
a when I was framing full time. I used to have a customer that would come in and buy Copic markers so he could make stained glass art. He used
Ah,
Copics in staining glass,
oh
and
wow,
he enjoyed them. He'd come in, he would buy, and they're not cheap. He would buy fistfuls of these
nice,
things. And I actually have two of his pieces. He made
sweet.
for me two pieces of stained glass art that I hang in the windows. And but he said he uses Copic markers because they work so well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't think I'd be drawing on glass, but you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, maybe that. Yeah, I'd be afraid of that. Maybe smearing off. But I mean, I'd like to see how he does that.
that would be interesting too.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah.
do this. Let me pull this up here. I got some of your stuff that I pulled off your Instagram.
Oh, sweet.
And there's your first one, Spider-Man.
Yeah, nice. Thank
Can
you.
you
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about this one?
Yeah. This was something that I wanted to do to like my because I've seen on Twitter and I've seen on Instagram and other social media that an artist would like get a piece that they did like in their early stages of their art journey, and then they would do
Right?
like a redraw of that same piece so you could see the improvement. And that was my idea behind Spider-Man because I have a Spider-Man piece that I did in 2013, a few years
Uh-huh.
ago, and I liked it, but I felt like I could do a whole lot better now versus then. So I did something else with it, and this is what came out of that. And some of the same elements from that original Spider-Man are in it because I had Spider-Man and I had the city at an angle, and so I
Uh-huh.
did the same thing here. In the previous Spider-Man, I only had like half of his body because it was cropped off because of the size of the page. In this one,
Mm.
I made sure that I was able to put like the full figure of him in it, and yeah, I was trying to do something to see if I could do my own personal definitive version of Spider-Man, and I like how it came out. I would like to do more, but I've been getting
Yeah,
a
I
lot
like
of.
it. It is
Uh,
cool. It has
Thank
a
you,
very good vibe to it.
thank you.
So the next one here is one of my
Oh yeah,
favorites. It's your
yeah,
Shredder.
Shredder. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. That one's
I
awesome.
didn't.
Yeah,
I remember seeing the one. I remember seeing just the black and white of this before you color it in.
yeah. I got the
Um,
original here.
yeah, it was that's what turned me on there. Yeah, that's nice. That's yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, this one was in because before I did this one, I did another turtles drawing of the four turtles,
Mm-hmm.
and and at that time I had done two turtle drawings, and so I wanted to like do something to where I could also include some other characters, and Shredder was the first one that came to mind, and this is what came from that, and now that I remember, this actually came from a challenge from a group on Twitter. There's a group on Twitter that they did like a shredder challenge, and if to see like the different styles of shredder that people could draw, and I
Mm-hmm.
participated, and this was the piece that I did for them, and yeah, really good. I like how it came out, and the colors on this one are from another artist. His name is Will. You can find him also on Twitter. He colored this piece, and he colored my turtles drawing, and he did a really good job with this piece, and he did it with colored pencils, and I thought that was
Nice,
really impressive, really impressive.
nice. So the next
And
one
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Oh, let's go back.
Yeah, no, actually, and at the bottom of that image, you'll see. Oh, I think you see it better here. You'll see that he's defeated the turtles. Like I've drawn
Hang
like
on
the
a
shells
second.
here, the shell down here.
Hang on.
No problem.
What are we doing here? I don't want to be on there. Oh man. Well, I'm technically deficient.
No, no worries at all. No worries at all. Maybe I
Anyway,
can. Maybe I can share it. Does
hang
that
on a
work? If I
second.
can share it.
Let's see.
But yeah, if anybody takes a look at the pic at the very bottom, there's like the turtles that are defeated in combat. Because I mean, in the comic, the Shredder always loses, so I wanted him to win in this drawing.
Nice.
And I put him at tonight I dine on turtle soup. Yeah, definitely.
Now here's one of my favorites. This is one of the
Yeah,
ones that really knocked my friggin' socks off when I saw this on Twitter
yeah.
and on your Instagram. Yeah, Yoda in the black and white. Now, have you finished that yet, or is that on hold?
No, that this is an actual finished piece, and the what looks like to be sketching here is fine, like a really thin ink lines,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I did this 2019, I think it was, and at that moment I hadn't really had like a defined way of inking. I was still experimenting with a lot of different ways of
Mm-hmm.
of doing shadows and hatching and doing like kinds of gradients. And in this drawing, for example, like I went all out with a really thin line to try to do textures on Yoda's face, on the clothes, also to try to do some kind of like lighting effect from this from his lightsaber on his face. Like you can see like a little bit of rim lighting
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the right side of him. And yeah, this I was completely experimenting with it, and but it came out great. I like how it came out, and this is actually like my only Star Wars piece that I've ever done.
I've
I would have
noticed
liked,
that.
I would have liked to do more, but at the time, the whole Star Wars Disney thing happened, and I was like, no, I'm not. I was really disenfranchised by everything Disney was doing, so I was like, I'm not drawing their characters anymore. It was really sad for me, but yeah, Yoda's one of
Well,
my favorite Jedi's. Aside from Luke, Yoda's one of my favorite Jedi's, and
yeah,
yeah,
this picture here, man, is just awesome. And I can't wait to design a picture frame and stuff so that I can start working on that to get that up on my wall because that looks just awesome. Seriously, dude.
Yeah,
It's just,
thank you.
and having it on my screen does not do it any credit. It's just, yeah, it's just awesome. But here we go. Here's Venom.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I did this a few months ago actually, and I was playing around at the time with headshots, and I wanted to do one for Venom and try to really get into it with the details. And by this time, I had a more defined inking style and specific way of inking. And then yeah, I love Venom, and I try to do my best of like emulating that '90s Mark Bagley Venom a little bit, and yeah, and I did the webbing in the back, and
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of fun with this piece. I had a lot of fun with this piece, and
Was
and
it
it was
difficult to do the teeth?
no, actually, I can almost do the teeth from muscle memory because
Really?
like this is this and the symbiotes and Spider-Man are probably like one of the few characters that I can almost do from memory because I've been drawing them for so long. Like
Yeah, that's
when I was
cool.
younger, when I was in high school, I drew them so often,
Hmm.
and so like I was able to get the teeth down right, the tongue, and and
It's
yeah,
just
just
an awesome piece, man.
yeah,
And
thank you very
when
much.
I screenshot this off your Instagram, I did have to crop it a little bit, so there is
Yeah,
some around the edges and stuff that are missing. But yeah, dude, there's just I'm impressed with the freaking teeth, his
nice.
tongue, the musculature, and the bone structure, the collarbone area there that you put
Yeah,
in. It's just freaking awesome, dude,
nice. Thank you very
and
much. Thank you.
it's just awesome. And then here is
Oh yeah,
Spawn,
Spawn.
man.
Yeah, this is another one that I did of those are like because I drew Spawn like a few years ago, and I
Uh-huh.
wanted to draw him again, and this is the first time I was actually able to pull off those storm clouds in the background. I finally
Mhm.
figured it out, and and yeah, like yeah, this my art style by this time had been like my inking had been had in my opinion I think it was a whole lot better than before, and yeah, I wanted to like do a sweet pick of a Spawn and emulating that feel from the '90s also, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to get his green energy thing in his hand,
Mm.
and
Yep. Have you
yeah, I went.
colored this one yet?
No, not yet. I haven't. I would like to. Hopefully, if I have time, I'll be able to go back and color this in. But I haven't had a chance to color this in yet.
I
Hopefully, I'll
love
get some time.
Pardon me. I love the background. I love the
Yeah,
dark sky with the lightning
yeah,
in the back and just and then that gargoyle head he's standing on with the
yeah,
building and just
yeah, yeah,
the detail that you put in the brick wall, the bricks,
yeah. In the back, yeah.
just dude.
Thank you very much. Thank
It's
you.
freaking awesome. And Spawn is a great character. Um, you know, and let's see this one here. Now, who are these guys? Tell me about these guys.
This is I did this for Don Chin. He's the creator of these characters. They're called the Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters. They're yeah they're a pair they're a parody of the turtles.
Yeah,
And and yeah, the hamsters were out for a long time. I think they were out almost as much as the turtles were. They were out back
really.
in 86, 87, and yeah, Don Chin, who I also met on Twitter. I've posted like maybe one or two turtles drawings, and he commented on one, and he said, "I'd like to see your take on the hamsters." And as soon
Yep.
as he said that, I was like, yeah. As soon as I set some time up, I'll get working on that because it's Don Chin. Like he's been in comics for a long time, and he's a pro, and he does really good work.
I like the
And
one with the mohawk on the bottom. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I learned a lot about the hamsters doing this piece. They're named after action stars. There's Clint, there's Bruce, there's Jackie, and I forget the last one. But yeah, they're really great. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I was glad. that I was able to get the composition to where I was
That's
able
cool.
to show each one of them in like a very dynamic
Yeah.
piece. Or at least that was the idea.
I
And
mean that's cool, man. These guys that's cool.
nice.
I love the names.
Yeah, yeah,
And then here's our one of our favorites, all-time
yeah.
standard,
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, yeah. Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah, this.
I love the lightning in the background, and then
Yeah,
the flash of light behind Batman that brings
yeah.
the shadow over his face is awesome, dude.
Exactly. And yeah, yeah, I tried emulating that Jim Lee style from his videos also, and I think I did pretty good with this. And yeah, I'm always intimidated by drawing Batman because Batman has such like a plethora of great artists. Like I don't know how I could contribute, but yeah, I took a stab at it with the headshot. My wife also told me to draw this because the Batman movie was coming up, and
Hmm.
and she loves Batman and the Joker, and so I did this, and she actually put this on a shirt that later we went to that later we wore to see for the premiere when the
Uh-huh.
movie came out. And yeah, I tried my best to do a good clean headshot. I tried to not go all in with the blacks, and I tried to do some gradients with the inks, and I was able to do like a little bit of a back reflection against his face, so it wouldn't be all in black. And yeah, I like how it came out. It came out pretty good. It came out really good.
Yeah, and
And
again, the definition of like the collarbone up to the neck right there on that left hand
yeah,
side in the shadow, and it's light, and then I love the shadowing. So the Batman,
yeah,
the face is slightly shadowed, but then you have his shadow of his head over,
exactly.
on the body, and it's just a cool piece.
Thank you.
And you know, I love the backgrounds. The background, like when you put the webs in the Spider-Man thing,
Yeah,
like we'll go back. Well, can I? Can I go back? There we go.
yeah,
Like here you have like his webs floating around here, and you've got the city and everything.
yeah,
The detail to the background, because a lot of people just sometimes they forget this, and it becomes an element. It's an element that's crucially important. Like say
yeah.
for instance, like with Shredder, you've got everything in the background. The background sets it up, and it's awesome. Sorry about that. I got a dog playing with a cat, so they're reenacting Tom and Jerry, I think. Cut it
Sweet.
out.
Yeah,
So
just I wanted to say hello to people in the chat. I think I see Odin there. What's going on, Odin? And
yeah,
Aardvark. Hello, how
Odin's
you
come
doing? How you
by.
guys doing?
Aardvark. Yep. Some of my
Yeah,
some of
hello.
my friends, Cam,
What's going
Cool
on,
Beer
guys?
Ab,
Cam.
the
What's going
Time
on, bro?
Prophet, and Problem Being was in there.
Nice.
Yeah. So and then Willie P.
What's going on,
Rivers
Willie?
Esquire. So yeah. So uh, got some good people. Good. Nice
Yeah,
to see the
nice.
new people in there too. I
Yeah, yeah.
think Batman was my final sell. It is. Yeah.
No problem.
So let me pull one of these. Go to one here real quick. This thing's running slow. Boy. Yeah, Yoda.
No
The
worries.
background. Here in the back, you've got all the stars. Okay. And this
Yeah.
goes back to I want to ask you about dog. Ask you about your other video that you did using whiteout. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that. Did you use that technique on this? But
Yeah,
in
yeah, I did.
general,
This is
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
this is actually the first time I did that because the first time that I did this little technique, and yeah, I have a video on my channel about it. But basically, what it is just that I get some whiteout, and then I get some whiteout, and then I get an old debit card or an old credit card, and I put the whiteout on the tip, and then I grab the tip and I just flick it, and then it'll leave these kinds of spots splatter on against the black, and and yeah, it works really good. There's a few setbacks with it because sometimes when you flick the white out, you'll get like a big splatter stain on it. But as I say in the video, it's easy to resolve because later you can go back with the black after it dries and then cover that up.
Covered up.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a really good effect. I think it's a more natural approach to it, because I've also seen artists like manually get either a whiteout pen or one of these Posca pens, and just like manually put dots, like stippling, and yeah, that could work also. But I like that when you flick it, it just naturally appears, and it just gives it a more organic feel to it. Like it's not like placed somewhere on purpose, and so I think it helps. I think that helps sell the effect of the space background. And yeah, I do that. I do that almost every time I have like a space drawing that I've done, um, and yeah, it works out really good. Uh, in the video, you'll see that I use a piece of paper to cover up the areas that I don't want sprayed over, and yeah, that's one way to avoid getting it into the areas that are already finished. But another thing that I used to do was just put a piece of paper over the paper that I'm drawing, trace out the figure, and then later cut that figure and then put that over the paper and then just sprinkle around it. But it works, but it's a little bit tedious. But I do mention that in the video also, and yeah, it's a really good way to do the space effect. And I've done it like in almost every other space drawing. I have this one also. I have this one here also of this Silver Surfer piece that I did.
There we go.
Did the star effects on that also.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. Now we can, yeah. So that there's another one you were going to try to show me, and I was having some problems.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, here at the bottom of the turtles, you can see.
Yeah.
They got beat up.
Yeah. See, that's See, that's the one I loved right there, man. That right there just captured, my attention big time, including as well as this one here with Yoda. So, and again, I want to say thank you very much for sending that to me.
Yeah.
I said, so like I said, here in the future, I'm going to be working on a picture frame for Yoda, and I'm going to make a video out of it, and everything. Awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff, my friend. Really good stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let's see what else.
I see a question. I see a question in the chat from the Time Prophet.
Oh boy.
He asked me, does Elliot use Photoshop or Clip Studio? I use all of my art is traditional, but what I do touch up some things. I do touch up some things digitally. Sometimes there's mistakes that I make that I can't correct manually. So when I scan it, I'll put it in a program and I'll touch up some things. And now I touch up almost everything that I do. Like for example, I'll go over the black areas, I go over the white areas, make sure they're black and white, and then get it looking nice. And yeah, so I do touch up digitally. And actually, a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I actually did an entire piece or an entire figure drawing digitally, which I've never done before. And I was really happy with how it turned out. And I have a video for that also on the channel, and you guys can check that out there. And but yeah, most of my work is traditional, and I do touch up sometimes with digital, and I do colors on Clip Studio. I have the Clip Studio program. I haven't used Photoshop just yet.
And
got
another question here from Willie P. Hi, Elliot. How easy is it to take someone else's vision and put it in a drawing?
Like I don't know if it's referring to like commissions, like another person's character, or
probably like what you did with like things like Spider-Man and things like that.
Yeah.
That's my impression.
No, I mean, it's like one thing that I found that helps me out with drawing characters is getting an understanding of who they are and what their power set is. And I think for me personally, I think that helps me get a better drawing for that character. Like for example, I wouldn't like I wouldn't put Superman, for example, in a Spider-Man like pose, no, because that's not what Superman does. He's got a completely different power set, a completely different personality, where he uses his power set in a very different manner. So I feel like there's poses and there's things that you could do that would fit certain characters more than others. And the only way, in my personal opinion, that I was able to get to understand that was from reading the comics and from watching the movies and from seeing how they interact and just getting to know the character a little bit more. So when it comes to doing superheroes, like I think having that background knowledge helps influence a lot of what I can do with each character, which is also something that's a little difficult with indie characters because for indie characters, I've done like I could say like about a handful or so of drawings where I've drawn characters with no idea of who they are or what they can do or something, and then
That goes back to the second, well, basically the clarification of his question. He
yeah.
wanted to know is a commission an original character. So
Yeah, and so yeah, it goes into that, no, because getting understanding of your character helps me out a lot to put them in the best dynamic pose possible, and yeah, I've drawn a handful of characters where I have no idea what they do or who they are, and sometimes it's not the best representation of that character, um, and and yeah, no, so like if I ever do get a commission, like those bits of information really help it helps me to define how best to draw them, um, and
so
yeah,
when you
yeah,
do a commission, it's really best for the person commissioning you to give you as much information, detailed information on that character or
yeah,
whatnot, so that you can make a better,
yeah,
more
exactly, yeah,
accurate representation of their vision.
yeah, exactly, because yeah, I mean they know who the character is, and they know that, for example, oh, this character wouldn't do that or he wouldn't do this, so they're more like this kind of way and that kind of way, and so if they help me understand that by telling me things like, oh no, he's a hero, or he's a mercenary, or
Hmm.
he just doesn't give a crap about anybody, then that can it could really influence how I draw that character. I don't know if
Right.
that's the same for other artists, but I mean that's just one way that I connect with the people, with the characters that I draw, and
Hmm. Well, it's like when I
yeah,
was doing custom framing full time, would someone would one of for one of the first questions I would ask them would be, are you wanting to accent the art, or are you wanting to match something you already have, color wise, style wise?
exactly,
And that's kind of the first jumping off points that I would do with a customer. Depending, like if someone brought a Thomas Kincaid painting in, which I've actually done, and they're freaking stunning. Um, do you want something that can coincides with the art? Like if it's a rustic looking house in the middle of the woods with little lights, do you want something to kind of give it that feel, or do you want something modern and
exactly,
dull, or something that's matches? Say like if you have redwood furniture, do you want it to be redwood or some
yeah.
kind of cherry oak or something like that? Look to it. So
Yeah, that's
um,
exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because you get that information, and then you're able to make a better judgment on what materials to use, how to
yeah,
put it, how to position it. Yeah,
what
all
it's
that
going to
helps
look
out
like.
also. Yeah,
Yeah, how it's going to do that. Yeah,
nice.
it's important to have all that information so that you can start designing the character for them.
Yeah,
Uh, so here's a
exactly.
here's a little comment from our good friend. If I can pull it up, come
Yeah,
on.
there it is.
It's yeah, my everything's running slow today, and I don't know what's going on. So Cruel Bear Ab in the chat says, "Too bad Disney don't know how to properly represent Star Wars characters." That
Yeah, yeah. I
wasn't
wanted to
something you
ask.
were going to talk to me
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you about that because I know a Wookiee is a big Star Wars fan, and I'm also a Star. Well, I don't know. I'm on the edge of Star Wars because I don't know, but I wanted to ask you like, what is your opinion on the current state of Star Wars? Because uh, I jumped on the Star Wars during the making of the prequels, and
Uh-huh.
so I had no exposure to Star Wars before the prequels, and so when I saw like the Phantom Menace and I saw that movie and that fight scene, I was like, oh, I was blown away. I really liked the
Yeah.
whole Star Wars mythos, and I really like dove into the characters, and then I went back and saw the originals, and I was even blown further back, and just amazed by everything what Star Wars did, and I can vividly remember like the fan base back then, like giving George Lucas all kinds of crap about him being horrible for Star Wars, that he's doing them injustice, that he's bad and all this, and so I wanted to know your opinion. Like, do you like it? Do you hate it? Like, I mean, because it's so
You know
different
what means?
now,
Is
and
gonna die?
yeah, yeah, man.
Well, I was fortunate to be in the generation that got to watch Star Wars when it came out in 1977, the summer of 1977. I personally, with
Sweet,
family, watched it in a drive-in theater, which was a freaking experience in
man.
itself.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
imagine.
I saw all three of the originals, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, all at the same drive-in theater over the
Man,
6-year period that they came out.
that
Um,
must have been awesome. Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. Um, and I watched the prequels. I actually think I own all three of them on DVD.
Yeah.
I watched the prequels, and I understand everybody's criticism back then. That people didn't really appreciate the Jar Jar Binks character for whatever reason. Yeah, and then that's why in the next two movies that he pretty much was diminished to almost nothing. Um, the prequels are not bad, um, but when you start looking at what we have now in Disney, a lot of people did enjoy The Force Awakens because it was the first new Star
Yeah.
Wars movie since Revenge of the Sith.
Mhm.
And people were clamoring for Star Wars, and a lot of people went to the movie, and a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people, on the other hand, some people didn't really care for it all that much. They didn't think it was too bad, but they had some questions, they had some misgivings, and then by the second one, when the second one came out, it pissed a lot of people off, and then the third one, it pissed a lot of people off even more. So
Yeah.
I kind of agree. Well, I do agree with Cruel Ab's statement regarding they don't know how to properly represent Star Wars characters. It's not that they don't know how to represent the Star Wars characters. It's that they don't want to represent the George Lucas characters. They want to get rid of the George Lucas characters and elevate their characters.
Mm.
And that's because it's a money thing. You see, a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand that George Lucas gets paid a royalty for his characters being used in the movies.
Ah.
Um,
Yeah. Wow. I
and
had no idea.
that's why they killed, well, one of the reasons why they killed off Han Solo and Luke. And of course, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher passed away. Um, and they cut her out. But um, yeah, Disney is I guess it's the closest thing you could consider to be the evil empire.
Yeah.
They have their own version of Palpatine, Governor Tarkin. They have the Inquisitors. They have all these different people that work for this company. You can classify them as the evil empire.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fans are turned off by the new stuff. I will admit, I watched The Mandalorian, both seasons. I did enjoy it. I was quite pissed off when I heard about the Gina Carano situation,
Yeah.
but I did enjoy it. I have not watched one episode or 1 minute of the Boba Fett series.
Me neither.
Um,
Or
so
Obi-Wan.
yeah, or oh yeah, Obi-Wan either. Now I did watch the Rogue One movie. I watched it because there were other actors in it that I wanted to see, and it was enjoyable to an extent. It did kind of give you an idea of what it was kind of like the prequel to, or the pre, you know, the to the first original movie that came out in '77. Kind of gave you the events of what led up to Princess Leia getting her hands on the Death Star plans. That's how she got them.
Yeah.
It wasn't enjoyable. I never watched the Solo movie. So,
Me neither. Yeah.
but yeah, I personally don't have any. I don't have any interest in Disney Star Wars. None.
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in Disney Marvel. None.
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in Disney. Um, Jim Henson Productions, the Muppets, because he owns those.
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in anything that they do with their Universal characters that they purchased a couple years ago, because it's Disney. Disney's even sacrificing their own characters, and it's a shame. But the one good thing is if you have physical media, whether it's DVD, VHS, or what have you, hold on to it. Don't get rid of it, and cherish those things that you have on DVD and
Yeah.
etc. The old stuff. I worked in the toy business during the time that the prequels came out, and I worked for Toys R Us, and Hasbro sold a crap ton of toys, action figures, board games, the video games for Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Phantom Menace was just everything went off the charts. It was
I remember
good.
the hype back then. It was great. Yeah, the hype back then was awesome. They had a whole lot of games also. Yeah.
They had video games, several platforms, but the one that really took off was Nintendo. But yeah, the hype was strong. I was with Toys R Us in San Diego, California at the time, and I remember there being midnight openings. They would have midnight openings for the action figure releases because they would do releases
Wow.
for the movie at the stores, or the new figure releases that have midnight openings, for this. And there would be reports at other stores of fist fights breaking out. All the collectors and all the hardcore fans, it was just a hyped up, stuff, but it was legit hype. It was legit hype. People
Yeah.
wanted to get their Anakin Skywalker figure. They wanted to get their Darth Maul. They wanted to get their Obi-Wan, their Qui-Gon, all stuff, all those figures and all those, play sets and toys. These are adults wanting to
Yeah,
get the
exactly.
stuff because these are the adults that grew up on the original three, and stuff that came out in the 80s, because you still had books. You have the other universe with the bulk books in it. So there's books and
Yeah.
comic books that came out in the 80s and the 90s. So, all the expanded stuff. And so you had, and prior to the Phantom Menace coming out, it was still owned by Kenner. The toy, the action figure lines and stuff like that was still owned by Kenner, who came out with the original stuff. And then Kenner was bought out by Hasbro a few years before the Phantom Menace came out, and they renewed a contract with Hasbro. Renewed the contract with Lucas for, I'm not sure how many years it was, but it was a ton of freaking money. So they inked a heavy deal with Lucas. So what they did is they took all the Kenner stuff that came out. It was all based on the original movies, and they pretty much just tried to push that out and get rid of it. So they sent it to Toys R Us's and KB Toys and all kinds of toy stores. And they got rid of it under the Kenner banner. And then when you had the Phantom Menace coming out, all the the figures that they debuted prior to the movie coming out, those were all under the Hasbro banner. So they got all rid of everything else and brought in the Hasbro lines, which is who has it now. So if you look for Star Wars figures, like the new stuff, you'll see Hasbro.
Everything's Hasbro. Wow.
Yeah, everything's Hasbro, and it's fine. It's fine. It's good stuff. But yeah, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of collectors, all the adults, mostly all the adults. But it got the kids into it too. Because to be honest with you, the Force Awakens or the Phantom Menace was kind of a kid friendly to an extent.
Yeah.
You know, because it had a you know, the kid Anakin Skywalker in it and stuff. So, but
and the pod racing one.
I'll tell you what, the pod racing video game sold like freaking.
That was
that was freaking nuts. But yeah, so you know, there's a lot of stuff. Let's see here real quick. Let's change this up.
I will forever hate Disney. Will forever hate Disney for not giving us a Luke, Leia, and Han on scene, just a scene with them three at all. Like it's like an excellent moment to capture that they could have had, but they were just they did have you could tell they have no clue what they're doing, and I was just really upset that they were never able to get all three on screen once throughout that whole series.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. I'll touch on that in a second. Willie P in the chat says the only thing I ever bought of Star Wars was in the 80s. Was the 80s TIE Fighter arcade cabinet. It's still fun to play. Cool, dude. Hold on to it. Don't let anything happen to it, because that stuff that came out then, man, good stuff. They had an opportunity to bring all three back together.
Yeah, man.
And they chose not to on purpose. They chose not to on purpose. And that was the telling thing. That's what turned off a lot of the old school fans, was the fact that they had the opportunity. They have not been together on screen since 1983.
Man.
And they had a chance here, you know, to do something, and they didn't. In fact, they did the opposite. They made Han Solo a deadbeat dad derelict. They killed him off, which I think was partially what Harrison Ford wanted anyway. And then they only let Luke in the film the last 5 minutes of the movie. You know?
Yeah, that was horrible.
And then of course you had Leia's character. But yeah, they could have brought all three back together. They could have done it a lot differently.
Yeah. One thing that I remember, for example, is like doing the opposite of that. Like, for example, with Avengers Endgame. Like, I remember, like, one of the scenes that came up in the trailer was when you finally, because in Infinity War, it's like Iron Man's over here, Thor's over there, Captain America's somewhere else. They're all divided. No, but then in Endgame, you see that scene where you see like all three of them about to face Thanos, and the hype that created. Like, and I can just imagine if you would have seen something like that, with Luke, Han, and Leia, just get a glimpse of the three of them. Oh man, that would have been so amazing. But I just hate them for not doing that.
Willie P in the chat's got a question for you there, Elliot. He says, Elliot, do you bellwive?
What is that?
I have no idea. Am I reading it wrong? Maybe I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I don't know.
Believe?
What do you?
I have no idea. Is that a?
Willie P, be a little more specific. Give us an explanation, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
Here we go. And here it is.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Willie P in the chat. Question: the comic industry has gone the way of the woke. Do you believe there will be a resurgence in comics, or is it dead? Are independent creators the future?
My personal opinion on that is that as long as I think I think that a resurgence for the mainstream comics is completely dead. Like it's no. As long as they're being owned by these big name corporations, big money corporations, as long as they're owned by them, they're going to continue stuffing this woke nonsense down our throats, and that's never going to stop. Is that I believe it's actually only going to get worse, and yeah, Marvel and DC taking that route. I mean, it makes me sad because I love the characters. I grew up with them,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is what it is, and I think now we're in like some sort of comic book renaissance, like type thing, where like now, I mean, because I mean, when I was younger, drawing comic book stuff, comic book things, it was almost impossible, or at least that's how I felt where I was growing up in the States. Like it was impossible for you to like ever actually create a comic. Like I mean, you could draw their characters all you want, but like actually creating it, I mean, it was for me it was something unimaginable. You know? But then with the internet, I mean, it was just amazing to see. Creators come into contact with each other, sharing ideas off of each other. One person showing another how to do a specific thing, and and I think it's been a blessing. Like for example, now you go on Twitter, you go on social media, and you'll see all kinds of creators that are doing their own thing. They're putting in money to do work their scripts, to create their characters. There's artists out there because to get into Marvel, it's really difficult. To get into DC is really difficult, but it doesn't mean that only the Marvel and DC artists are good. No, there's a bunch of other people that are really good that just don't have the opportunity to make it to Marvel and DC. And so there's a bunch of those artists that are working and then putting out their own creators and their own IPs out there. And I think that's where the magic is in comics now, because comics were or became the way they became because of the people who buy them, the fans that wanted more. And now those fans are making comics. And so, I mean, I don't know what could be healthier for comics other than having the people that love these characters, love comics in general, just the medium in general, and have them continue and make their own comics with that same passion. No, and I was blown away by what I saw on Twitter with so many different comic book companies and I'm sorry, so many different comic book indie comic creators, and now they're forming their own indie comic companies and they're forming their comics, and I'm reading them, and most of the things that I've gotten have been top quality. You could take a look at Alternative Comics and then the things that they're putting out over there, really good stuff. I mean, they have nothing to envy with Marvel and DC. I mean, there's nothing that they're putting out where you're saying like, oh man, I wish. No, like everything they're doing is top notch. The coloring is great, the art is great, the writing is great, the stories are interesting, the characters are unique. There's something that there's also this sense of like being able to experiment where the company would not take those kinds of risks. These indie creators are taking these kinds of risks and are doing things that we've never seen before. And I mean, I call it a renaissance. I think where the creation of the comic is in the hands of fans. I think it's just the best thing ever. And I'm hopefully going to participate in that also. I have plans of making my own comic and then putting my own characters out there. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited to do that, and hopefully I'll get to put something out that people like. And yeah, I mean, people in the chat also, like for example, Aardvark, he's got his comic that's coming out soon, and just the passion with all of these creators is just really, really great. And I think that's where the hype is at. I think that's where the fun and then the creation is at. Yeah, because this woke agenda I don't think is going to go away anytime soon. I think it's going to be here for as long as those companies keep getting money, because it's all about money for them.
They're not getting much money because I know that with Warner Brothers, Warner Media was bought out by Discovery, and Discovery, from what I understand, is cleaning house, and they're looking at. I know I have heard a lot of people from the DC Comics division of Warner Media have, either they're on their way out or they're going to be on their way out. Either voluntarily or involuntarily, because to have a business not make money means that you're a failure.
Yeah.
You have no success and you have no longevity. If you're and they want to be in business, they got to make money. The woke era that we're in right now is not a moneymaker, and it's been proven. It's actually the opposite. The old the adage, the modern adage, "Go woke, go broke," is it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legit, and it doesn't matter if it's comic books, movies, plays, video games. Okay, it's there,
Yeah.
and it's they've infested every form of media entertainment. Everybody's escapism has been affected. I mean, every franchise you could name a modern franchise right now, or a legacy franchise that has been infested and has been destroyed
Yeah.
from within by this woke agenda.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but people like yourself, and people like Peter Samedi with Alternate Comics, and doing the great work he does there with his company, of all the independent guys that I see out there, can take a lesson from people like Ethan Van Sciver and others who have left the big companies, took their own ideas, and ran, and they went forward and kept on moving forward, and that's what's important. And you have a lot of great examples to follow, and just keep going, man. Don't
Yeah.
you make a mistake, so be it. Learn from it and keep going forward. Don't let it set you back, and don't let people get in your ear that's negative either. So that's another thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of that also. Yeah.
And here's the thing that indie comics is proving to be the way to go, is because when you have people coming from Marvel and DC they're leaving, or they're branching out and they're trying to get into indie comics, and they're trying to sell their stuff on Kickstarter, why is that? I thought everything was hunky dory over there. I thought everything was cool and rainbow and roses and all that stuff, but apparently it's not. And so all these people that were bad mouthing people like Ethan Van Sciver and other independent comic book creators and story writers, now they're jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. So there's something to it.
Definitely.
And it doesn't matter if you like horror, or if you like superheroes, or you like a detective type stuff, adventure. They're out there. Those creators are out there. They're doing their stuff. There's drama. All kinds of indie comic book creators out there making the art, making the stories, and putting the stuff out there for us to consume and to discover and consume.
Yeah.
And it's great. I think it's freaking awesome, because the only way to combat this woke agenda and this woke era that we're in is to create your own stuff. People will find you, and people will buy it. And because when you have good escapism, it matters, and like I said, they've infested everything. They've infested every form of escapism that we have, in one way or another. And it's not something that happened overnight. They've infested these things over the last decade, and they've worked their way up. They've failed themselves into a promotion to get where they're at, to inflict the most damage to our fandoms and franchises and genres that we enjoy. And it's up to the indie producers, whether it's comic books, independent films, independent book writing, everything. There's stuff out there for everybody, and
that's definitely true.
And we definitely have to watch each other's back, and because there's a ton of people out there that want to do nothing but talk bad about people and bring them down and drag them down and call them all kinds of names for no other reason that they're following their dream and they're trying to be successful.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
indie comics is the way to go.
Yeah, that's I personally
really
believe that also. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's good to go back on the old stuff, whether it's the old Marvel, old DC, old Star Wars, old Star Trek, other sci-fi things, other franchises that have a legacy. It's good to go back on those and enjoy those, but try not to let this current era stuff, get you down or whatever, because we all know the quality difference. I mean, speaking of quality difference, there was oh man, it escapes me right now, but there was a comic book. Was it the New Warriors or it was something like that? They did a reprint or a redo.
Marvel, I think, was
of there was a comic book that came out, or a comic book series. It came out about 20 years ago or so, and the cover art. I wish I could remember the name of the darn thing, but anyway, the cover art on that one versus the rebooted one. Okay,
yeah.
Someone on YouTube put the two together and went page by page by page. The older one looked like freaking it was, done by Michelangelo, dude. I mean, it was freaking awesome. The graphics were freaking nuts. And the modern one looked like a kid in school with a crayon and just like,
Yeah, horrible.
It just looked horrible. And so
and that's their definition,
talent,
and that's their definition of redefining art. They think that making it look crappier it equals to like being more open about art, and it's a horrible narrative here.
It is horrible because you look at some of the stuff that the Miller era, when he came out with the Dark Knight series, the graphic novels, some of the great graphic novels that came out. And then you put them up to some of the stuff that they're trying to peddle now from the mainstream comic industry as being so great and everything else. The quality and the skill is just not there. It's lacking, and it really truly is. Aside from the stupid storytelling and the stupid agenda bias stuff, just the fact that the art itself looks not as quality as you would think for the money that you're going to pay for some bigger company, or some more popular, let's say mainstream, versus, the stuff that they put out 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The quality of the graphics were much, much better with the older ones, with the original stuff, than they are now. But you're getting that with the independent guys. You're getting the top quality, awesome skill, awesome graphics from the creators, whether it's the cover or and anything on the inside. It's all quality. And that's the thing I'm finding. The talent is just exploding with indie. And that's one of the reasons why, and that's part of the reasons why the mainstream comic book industry is failing, is because the quality has gone down. It's not there anymore. People don't care. They bring in the people, like I said, who fail up. They fail up and they get a position, and I'm this great, I'm the best thing since sliced bread because I tick a box or whatever, and they produce, inferior stuff.
I completely agree.
But and we see that not just in comics, we see it everywhere.
In all aspects of life now, and everything, and the TV, sports, everything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. People, I remember when Discovery Star Trek came out, and I had a relative asking me, "Oh, have you watched Discovery? Have you watched Discovery? Oh, it's so good, it's so good." I said, "No, I haven't." And I really didn't think about it because I grew up in the '70s watching all the reruns of Star Trek, from the '60s, and then of course they had the Star Trek cartoon in the '70s, so I watched a lot of that, and then of course back in the '80s I watched all the Next Generation stuff, and DS9, Voyager, and then of course it ended with the Enterprise television show. But yeah, all this new stuff, I've not gotten into in Star Trek, and I was a big Star Trek fan, big time. And when the new stuff came out, the new movies, they were okay. They were good, flashy, all that stuff, but just something wasn't right. But Discovery is it's one of those things like the comic book.
Yeah.
They try to shoehorn everything in. They try to lift up something and push it into your face, and it's just tiresome. Really don't.
Is it possible to like Star Wars and Star Trek?
Yes, it is. It is.
I have
In
no
my
idea.
opinion, it is because I still have them. I have action figures for Star Wars. I've got Star Trek posters, and I've got
See.
collectible plates. Star
Nice.
Trek. So yeah, I actually got my old Star Trek figures as well.
That's sweet. That's
So
awesome.
you can be both.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Marvel and DC. You can like both. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
I have a little bit of both of those from back in the day as well. So
Yeah.
I got some Marvel, some DC, but the majority of the stuff I've got now is all Alterna.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll turn this where it's at. Yeah.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
also I don't know for the people out there that are watching, if you guys have backed the King Cryptid comics that he's putting out recently. I
Yeah.
took out an ad that he was offering, so you'll be able to see some my take on King Cryptid in issue number 4. You guys keep an eye out for that also. I'm going to do a
Cool.
drawing for King Cryptid, and I hope you
Nice.
guys dig that.
I haven't, with everything going on lately, personally, I haven't had a time to invest in comics
Yeah.
in a couple of months, so I've missed some of the King Cryptids, but I'm gonna jump on those here pretty soon. King Cryptid and Wolf and Batsy that they got, the new log
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got a list.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things out there.
Oh yeah, there are. I love the Legends of Log, and the artwork is
Yeah.
awesome. Another one that I like is it came out on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
The horror one. Yeah, that's an awesome series. It's a shame I can't get some of the back orders. I guess they're no longer in print, but
Yeah, man. I like to get some of the
those are
old
good.
stuff too. And
Yeah, every
I
once in a
saw
while it'll come up, but
I saw a recent cover that Peter's that Samedi pushed. I'm sorry, that showed off of a Preston Acevedo cover for the latest issue of it came out on a Wednesday. Really good art. Really good art.
oh yeah. There's some yeah. There's so many guys, so many talents,
Yeah. Yeah.
that are out there that are doing stuff that you know people just don't know. But when they find them, it's like it's like a freaking eureka,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
when I found Alterna, I was like blown away. I'm like, yeah, I gotta, yeah, I'm a customer for life.
Yeah,
Not just
definitely.
with the product, but also how they treat their customers as well. So, very
That's
important.
great.
But so let me ask you this, Elliot. Do
Yeah.
you collect action figures?
I used to. Back in the day. And what actually, yeah, I actually, when I was younger, I played with my action figures a lot, and then, but I've never actually like had like a shelf with like my figures like set up.
Yeah,
I've never done that, but
yeah.
I did collect a lot, and yeah, like my opinion, the most impressive toys I've seen so far have been McFarlane's work. He does
No,
really good
yeah,
stuff with
yeah,
his toys, and
yeah.
yeah. I also like when people they get like existing toys and then they change them and then modify them to look at like other characters.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah.
I've been seeing some people on Twitter that have been doing that for some of the indie characters that are out
Mhm.
there, and I've been enjoying that a lot also. But right now
Yeah,
I don't have any. Right now I don't have any action figures, but I did back in the day.
everything that I've got is in storage right now. I've got to
Nice.
put away all my Star Wars. I've got also the GI Joe, the
Oh
small
man, yeah, that
GI
stuff's
Joes,
great.
that stuff. Yeah, that, and I've got Star Trek figures. I've got uh, my favorite character in The Empire Strikes Back was Lando Calrissian.
Oh,
So I
nice.
have a Lando Calrissian action figure, and then I have from Burger King had glasses for the Empire Strikes Back, and so I have a Lando Calrissian glass, original.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm like, yeah,
That's
I'm a
awesome.
big Lando fan. I've got the 40th that they came out with a 40th anniversary for the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Hasbro put out a Lando Calrissian in I think it's a 6-inch figure with
Yeah.
the 40th anniversary sticker on the card. So I bought that for just
Nice.
because. Um, yeah,
That's awesome. I'm
yeah.
I'm getting an idea of what I could do for your drawing.
It's Lando, baby.
That's
Some of the
awesome.
greatest stuff. I'll tell you what. Some of the greatest stuff using the Star Wars was on Seth MacFarlane and what's his name, Seth Green, when they do the Robot Chicken. Dude, the Robot
Yeah.
Chicken Star Wars stuff is freaking awesome.
Hilarious. Yeah.
And they are, oh my God, they are just freaking awesome. And they got Billy D. Williams to do some stuff
To
on
do the
Robot
voice.
Chicken in
Yeah.
general. Funny stuff, dude. Just, oh my God. If you get a chance, look it up on YouTube.
I'll take a look. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a
All
few
the
issues of Robot Chicken. I haven't seen the cows yet. I'll take a look at the Lando stuff.
Yeah. And then Seth MacFarlane did the Family Guy stuff, Star Wars stuff. It was pretty
Yeah.
funny too. So, but it's out there. Good stuff is out there that's not tainted by woke stuff. And speaking of Seth MacFarlane, there's his show, The Orville, which I've never watched, but everybody that I know has watched it. They said it's what Star Trek should be.
Oh, nice.
So I might start watching that at some point. So
Have you seen Dune? Is that that movie
Dune, the
Dune
new
that came
movie
out?
Dune.
Yeah.
I've seen the original movie.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the original
Okay.
one that has Sting in it.
Nice.
I've not watched the new one.
I thought it
I
was pretty
haven't.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about it. I mean, I'm sure the special effects are pretty good and stuff like that. I just haven't.
Yeah.
I've not watched it.
Yeah.
Not a franchise that I was all too enthused about or had.
Yeah, I
interest
wasn't
in,
either. Like
so,
I've never. Yeah,
but,
I wasn't really
I
too
might
into it.
I might watch it at some point. So because that came out a couple of years ago or a year ago or
I think
so.
it came out I think it was
year.
last year. I think it was
Yeah.
last year. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that either, but I saw the movie because I heard that it was really good. Yeah, and I liked it. It's not bad at all. It was
I'll
really
have to
good.
look it up. I will
Hopefully
have
they
to
don't
look it up.
hopefully they don't go too crazy with that into the wokeness. But I thought it was pretty good.
Yep. Here's something from Odin. Pull it up here if it'll pull up. Crazy.
Yeah.
This thing is not working for some reason. Why are you not wanting to show? Pull it up.
There it is. I see it.
Why is it not? There we go. For some reason, my computer's running slow. So, Odin in the chat says, King Cryptid looks so awesome. Like Wookiee Fever, I have been meaning to get that. Yeah, the art for that, I've seen some of his drawings on those when he was coming out with that. Just amazing. Yeah. It's I got to get it because it's about cryptids. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and
it's about cryptids. See? So I got Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Wow. So, well, what else you want to talk about, my friend?
Oh man, anything's on the table. I have no problem at all. And yeah, I mean, yeah, happy again to be on the show, and hello to everybody in the chat out there, and yeah, thank you very much for your questions. And
yeah, I'm really excited that you came on and that you're here, man. I really appreciate it. You know, and
I'll hopefully be able to do like a stream on my channel, and then hopefully have you as a guest on there sometime.
That would be cool.
If we can
I
work
would
that
like
out
that.
also.
Yeah,
So
I
we
would
can,
like
so we
that a lot.
can, yeah, so we can dig into more Star Wars talk because
uh,
I like hearing about that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Star Wars. I mean, I have a lunchbox. I have the lunchbox that I got for Christmas of 1977.
Yeah.
Star Wars lunchbox with thermos, and I used it as a kid. That was probably my favorite lunchbox. So I still have it. I'm a lunchbox collector. So
Nice.
because of my childhood, and that's like my prized possession, the lunchbox. Um, here's another thing about Star Wars was because I worked in the toy industry for a while. I got to see the Phantom Menace toys sell real well, and the Todd McFarlane stuff sell, and other things back in the late '90s and early 2000s. So things were taken off. But I want to say about the toys that you find now for the new movies, especially this last one, The Rise of Skywalker. They
Yeah.
pretty much were non-existent.
Oh wow.
The only toys that I saw that were selling were anything related to the Mandalorian. So you had the Gina figures, you had the Mando figures, you had, of course, Baby Yoda. Okay, all those figures were selling. The Rise of Skywalker stuff was not. They started coming out. That's why I bought that Lando, the 40th anniversary for Empire Strikes Back. So they were coming out with stuff like that. So Hasbro was producing the anniversary stuff, which was selling out. I was lucky to get a Lando. I was lucky to find him, and it was the only one that they had. So you have all the legacy characters as to what people want.
Yeah, exactly.
So Hasbro would put out some, but I have not seen, and even today, last week actually, I was over in a local Target store and walked in. I always walk in the toy aisle, always walk in and look at all the toys, whether it's Lego, action figures, Hot Wheels. Just I like looking at toys because I was in the industry for a while. So I want to see what's coming out, what's out. And as far as the modern Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars stuff, really wasn't there. There's none. I mean, you had some of the Mando stuff that were slow sellers, but there was none of the anything. You can't find anything of the modern stuff. And I know from talking to somebody in the industry that they couldn't sell in their locations the Rise of Skywalker stuff. Not the Rise of Skywalker, not Force Awakens, the other one, The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi
That's
was
horrible.
what helped cratered the freaking action figure market and toy market for Disney Star Wars, in my opinion. That film that cratered. And yes, I watched that movie, but it was the last 30 minutes of the movie, and it was shit.
Yeah, I completely agree. That I remember that day because my wife had surprised me with tickets to see the midnight showing.
Yeah.
I was really hyped up about it because it was just like the first time you're going to see Luke since back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had all these ideas in my head, like I wonder who he's going to kill, how he's going to use his force, and all this and that. And then we saw it, and then the people in the crowd were like just so disappointed. Like it was not what we expected. It was not the Luke. It was not the Luke that you had learned to love. Like he would never do that. I mean, and it was just completely. I was completely disappointed. And then after that movie destroyed Star Wars for me. And I can't believe they did that. But
and it helped tank toy sales. I mean, you had board games, you had puzzles, you had posters, you had T-shirts, you had hats, you had mugs, you had all those things, and then you had your action figures and your play sets, and other stuff like that. Hang on a second.
Yeah, no problem at all.
I got a cat climbing the ceiling here.
No problem at all.
Oh, okay. I know what he's doing now. It sounds 10 times worse than what it actually is. So, I love cats. But you have all these categories of toys, not just action figures that were impacted by this movie. And so you had retailers, because stuff wasn't selling, it was catching, it was just dust collecting on the shelves. They couldn't move it. So people were discounting. So what happened was when the not Force Awakens, the
Last Jedi?
when the Rise of Skywalker came out,
Oh yeah.
Hasbro took it upon themselves to not produce very much figures and other things for this movie because of what happened over the course of the last two movies, and everything started going like this, with the toys and other merchandise. It's because people weren't buying it, and they took it upon themselves and made a business decision not to go too far into it with production. So they weren't going to invest a lot of money into it, and they were smart, in my opinion, to do so. But then we had all the controversy with the Rose Tico character. Oh, the Rose Tico character, blah blah blah, and the actress and all this other BS. Okay, Rose Tico character was written like shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why no one liked the character. It wasn't because they didn't like the actress. The character could have been good. The character could have been awesome. The character of Finn could have been awesome.
Yeah,
Dude, that one too. So you have the failures of writing and production for the movie caused the toys that Disney Star Wars is getting a chunk of, because they get a royalty. I used to work for a wholesaler, and so Hasbro has a contract, right? They have a contract with Disney Lucasfilm to produce. They get the rights to licensing rights to the name, the logos, all the figure, all the characters, and everything related to that, those movies and characters and stuff like that. So they go out and they pay Disney money, even though they signed a contract. They pay them a royalty on everything they sell.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe their contract was different, but I know from my point of view, I worked for a small wholesaler who created some things for, and they had to get a licensing rights from two companies to do it, so they could market these products and with their name on them, with this company's name on it. So it's it could be different with Lucasfilm because it's a bigger thing. They could just say, okay, we're going to pay you X amount of money, Lucasfilm every year on the bottom line. Well, they decided not to produce a lot of stuff, and subsequently they didn't sell a lot of stuff. But even then, there was still stuff on the shelves that weren't selling.
What a loss! What a complete waste! I mean, they could have done so much with that stuff.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks because there's a lot of collectors who like. They may not like the franchise per se, but as a collector, they want to get a complete set. They want to get those action figures, for their set, because right now they may not be the most sought after, but here in 10, 20, 30 years from now, who knows what a complete set of these action figures in card will bring,
Yeah, could you imagine like a set with like Han, Luke, and Leia, Chewie, like a set of the original characters with the new movies, like what that could have been? Man, just so many missed opportunities with that, man. It could have been so much better.
Yes, there are, and it's incredible. And it's the same way with the Marvel stuff, the Marvel universe as well.
Yeah, they're going down that hole too, and it's not looking good. Yeah.
Well, I put it this way, that movie, The Eternals, came out last year.
Oh man, what a bad.
And I remember being in a local store, big box store, and they had an end cap with the Eternals characters, all these action figures and everything. And don't get me wrong, they're nice looking stuff and carded great. It's just a great, there was a quality product because I think actually Hasbro was making them. And again, I think Hasbro ended up getting bitten in the butt because the ones I saw, they had an end cap and everything was like buy one, get one half off.
Oh.
Or buy two, get one free. So basically buy three, get one for free type of deal. They were trying to give it away,
Man.
And this is a Christmas time. This was in freaking December.
No.
You have stuff that they're on the only thing it didn't have was a clearance sign on it. Outside of that, they were, and I'm going, what? They're giving a 2-for-1 on these action figures, and nobody wants them. They're still there.
Man.
And it's the same way with the Lego figures. Lego sets. The same way. They collecting.
Nobody wants those. Yeah.
Nobody wants it because what they've done with the characters and the stories. No one wants that stuff. It's everybody's getting it pushed in their face, whatever it is, or they want to just destroy the characters. It's like I remember before Stan Lee died, before he passed away several years ago. I remember there was some gal that worked there at Marvel said she couldn't wait for him to die.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, let's turn off everybody by saying that. All the fans, from you're in a company, you're working for them to make them money, and then you come out and you say something asinine like, "Oh, I can't wait till Stan Lee dies, so that we can do blah 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 blah." Yeah.
Well, what we're seeing now, despite the fact that he's gone, they're still using his images and posting stuff on Twitter, on Instagram
to sell Marvel.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible. It's, but that's the era that we're in right now.
Yeah, that's horrible. Man,
nobody has. It's funny that all these people in these positions have somehow lost or misplaced or probably never had any ounce of creativity and imagination. No one has any imagination to come out. And I was saying this 20 years ago, that people don't have any imagination or independent, creativity. They always had to do reboots. Everybody's got to do a reboot of this and a reboot of that, because we're still getting reboots. Yeah. We're getting reboots of, and the funny thing is, they're getting reboots of Disney cartoon movies in live action, and they suck.
Yeah,
and they bomb at the box office. And so I don't know. I've seen the movies I've seen that are remakes of originals. Very few of them are good. They usually don't really, live up to their hype. But I don't know.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard that the Jungle Book one was good, and I haven't seen that one. But I saw Lion King and Aladdin, and then they sucked. I mean,
the Jungle Book. Now here's the thing: the Jungle Book, the original live action there's been a live action before, many years ago, a live action Jungle Book movie, and it starred the guy that he portrayed Bruce Lee in one of the Bruce Lee
I remember that movie,
the Bio movie.
Yeah.
But
I remember that.
It was this guy when he was younger, and he played the part.
He was Mowgli, the adult Mowgli, I think it was.
Yeah, and he was and it was the Jungle Book, and that was the first live action adaptation. So I never watched it. I saw clips of it, so I don't know, but I know they did it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad, because I thought it would. I thought for a second, like I thought it'd be good, like when they do these remakes, that it would be good to like do it, like just like the original, but with live action. I thought it would be. I thought for a second it'd be a good idea, but they didn't. Like the CGI in Lion King wasn't up to par, in my opinion. And seeing things like actually like scene by scene by scene from the original, no, it killed it. Like it just wasn't. It wasn't a really good idea. It wasn't a good execution. They probably should have done something a little bit more different with it, but yeah, and it's the same thing that happened with Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and yeah, I lost my interest in that also. Yeah,
Right.
not good at all.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it's the state of our, like I said, the state that we're in right now. Hopefully, people like yourself and other indie creators will help, help us overcome this stuff.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
I was watching something this morning on YouTube early this morning about the new Maverick, the Top Gun Maverick movie, and how much money it's making, and the fact that it's not woke, and they people were making a point of saying it's not woke, and it's making bazillions of dollars right now.
Yeah, I'm really hyped up for that movie. I want to go see it. I think I might see it this weekend.
Yeah.
This upcoming weekend, I think I might go see it. And I'm really excited for that. I want to see what happens. And
you know what? I never really saw the whole Top Gun movie. I saw bits and pieces of it back in the day, but from what I hear from a lot of different people, it's really good, and it pays a lot of respect to what came before it.
Yeah,
and it has Val Kilmer in it playing his old role.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. No, but I have liked some movies he's been in.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, but I'm not a big fan of his.
Yeah.
But he's a good actor. I might go see it. I know the Jurassic Park, the new one, is out, and it's making a boatload of cash too.
Nice.
And they have the original 3.
That's what they should have did. That's what they should have done for Star Wars.
They have them all together too in the movie, and it's great. I hear it's great. I want to go see it. Along with the new people, along with Chris Pratt and all the other people. So
that's what it should be. Like you get the original cast, pass off the baton to the new cast, and then let everybody get continue. But no, man. Oh man.
Yeah, really upset. Yeah, because I've seen all the Jurassic Park movies from the original one, of course, and then through this last one that they did. So this one, I want to watch this. The one movie that I'm really just my butt's chapped about not seeing yet is the Godzilla versus Kong.
You haven't seen that yet?
I have not seen that, and I want to see it. I want to see it because I'm like freaking from way back in the 70s, man. Godzilla and King Kong both. I'm like, I'm a big Godzilla fan, and I'm very impressed with what they've done to Godzilla in these since 2014.
Yeah, those last 2 movies are really good.
Oh yeah, and then I want to see the Godzilla one, the Godzilla Kong. I want to see, and I'm hearing that there's rumors of a Kong versus Godzilla 2. So
man, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But I want to see this next one because I think it's pretty good from what I've heard. So I'm all excited for it.
No, it was a good movie. I really liked it. I like how they kept to like the original vibe of the Godzilla, because I used to watch those old Japanese movies back in the day also.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you because you're in the toy industry, I don't know if you remember that Godzilla for a long time had a lot of good toys also. They had a great line of toys.
Yes.
And, I had a bunch of that stuff also back in the day. Really good stuff.
I remember when they did the original, they brought when they did the first American-made Godzilla movie over here.
Oh man, that was so bad.
They had Gene Reno and of course Roderick in
that
it.
Movie. Yeah, I remember that movie.
I didn't mind the movie. I didn't mind it because it had some good actors in it, but they could have done a hell of a lot better job with the freaking creature.
Yeah.
So they could have done a hell of a lot better job with Godzilla. That's why
Yeah.
I enjoyed the new stuff that they've done.
Yeah.
I think I think Godzilla is just, awesome. I'll tell you what was really freaking awesome was in when he did King of the Monsters one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rodan.
Taking on. Yeah.
Rodan was badass.
Yeah.
There was no rubber freaking chicken Rodan. This thing was badass.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so freaking excited. Rodan, man, he kicked ass. Oh
Heck
shit.
yeah, man.
Rodan.
Yeah, that movie was great. Yeah.
I didn't really go for Mothra, how they did this Mothra, but it was okay. But yeah, Rodan, I was like, dude, that's how you do Rodan. Not a rubber chicken looking thing. That's Rodan.
Yeah,
That
it
was
did justice.
freaking awesome. Yes, it did. But yeah, I got to see Godzilla versus Kong. That's a good one. So, but yeah, I remember they came out with they had a lot of merchandise for that Godzilla movie with the Broderick in it. I remember, man, everybody was stealing stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
at Toys R Us, we still had stuff for that movie too. The Godzilla, and at that time too, they had the cartoon, the TV cartoon, American cartoon for that. It was kind of based on the same thing. So they had some toys for that, but didn't last long. But they had some stuff for that. But I remember everybody. I had a poster. I had some swag from like Taco Bell and stuff like that because they were doing the thing with the dog and the "You'll get a Taco Bell,"
the commercials.
The commercials with the little Chihuahua and stuff for Godzilla, and so yeah, I had a lot of that. Stuff. So, but yeah,
I remember that stuff from back in the day. They had that poster with the one eye, the red eye, the Godzilla.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, they could have done a better design for that character, but it was all right.
Yeah, they could have. I mean, it was. I guess it was good for the times. But
because it was like a modernization of it, not like a up to date version of what Godzilla was. Yeah, it was passable.
Yeah. Yep. But I like the newer version. But yeah, heck.
I like that they kept that mystique to him in the first movie. Like you like saw glimpses of him. It added to the emotion and the excitement of the final reveal in that movie. I like that. I like how he did that.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. They did. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed when I found out that Disney had purchased had purchased Fox, 21st Century Fox, and they own all the Universal stuff, all the Universal monster movies.
Oh, wow.
So you got Frankenstein and the Wolfman and Dracula and the Mummy and all these different movies. And I guess there was an attempt, and maybe this was pre the purchase, but it was an attempt. And Tom Cruise was in it, a reboot or a remake of the Mummy.
Yeah.
I guess, and I don't know if I've not watched the movie. I guess it was. I don't know if it was an actual true reboot, or if it was like a keeping in the same universe type deal. Because I do know in the movie there was a scene where Cruise was walking through a museum and they had the Book of the Dead, that they had from the original Mummy movie.
Yeah, the black one, I think. What?
The
gold one.
They had that book in the museum and he kind of like looked at it or whatever. But yeah, so I think it was based in modern times anyway. It was based in current day, the movie. So I don't know. But I heard that movie didn't do too well for whatever reason. I've not seen it.
I heard about that also. Then I think it just completely tanked any ambitions of doing any more.
Because they were supposed to. The rumor was they were going to do a MonsterVerse with the Universal monsters, so like Dracula and Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and stuff like that. Bring all those characters back.
I'm almost happy that they didn't do it because could you imagine how woke they would have turned?
God. Oh God.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine?
tell me about it.
Man, I'm almost glad they didn't do anything with it. Yeah.
I know. And it's a shame when you think, when you think about if they tried to remake movies today, how pretty much messed up they'd be,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, it's a shame. But we can be thankful, like I said, of having stuff that we like on physical media. That's important.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah, follow
but
the indie scene, guys. Everybody in the chat, follow the indie scene. That's where it's at.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Follow the indie scene because they're doing stuff, making stuff for everybody to enjoy. you know,
Exactly.
so fans first. Attitude. You know,
Yeah.
trying
That's
to
what's
give
gonna
people what they want.
yeah, that's what's gonna keep your business thriving and keep people interested is making the
Mhm.
people happy. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So whether it's comics or whether you're creating models, you know, with whatever, um, be creative and keep moving forward, and don't let the bad stuff get you down. So, because like I said, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there that will support you and push you to be better
Yeah.
and give you tips and hints and tricks and help.
Yeah.
And then there's people on the other end who want to do the complete opposite. They want to badmouth you. They want to tear you down. They want to,
Yeah.
call you all kinds of stupid names and everything
Yeah.
else because of jealousy, basically what it is.
Yeah. That's true.
So those are the voices you want to block out of your mind and put blinders on to and just keep moving forward
Yeah,
with,
definitely.
your ambitions and stuff like that. So, you know,
Yeah,
very,
definitely.
very important. Oh man, the chat dried up. Uh, here's one.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Here's one from. Let me put this up here real quick. Cam Crash Courses in the chat.
Nice. How you
He
doing?
says that they're at Andy Masterson. Yeah, I'm familiar with Andy. Is an amazing 1/6 scale independent figure creator.
Garage
Garage
of
of
Mayhem.
Mayhem is in the stream. Is his stream? I'm sorry. Yeah, I've
Nice.
seen some of the stuff that Andy has produced, and it's awesome.
Nice.
It's
I'd have to
awesome.
check him out. Yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
does some
called
great
Garage
stuff.
of Mayhem.
Yep, Garage of Mayhem. Yep. So go check that out. Check out his
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
Oh yeah. Hey, speaking of some stuff, I'm gonna send you a couple of links on your DM
Yeah.
for a site called Audred Audio Video or Audio Visual,
Okay.
and he does work obviously in the audio visual realm. He does intros and outros for YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Oh.
And if you're interested in that type of stuff and maybe seeing what he does, I would definitely go to his YouTube channel and check out his stuff.
Nice.
I have two links I'll send you in a DM that you can check those out specifically, or like I said, you can just go straight to his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
he
appreciate it.
does
Yeah, I'll
good
take a look
stuff.
at it.
Yeah, that's called Audred Audio Visual on YouTube, and he does good stuff there. And there's a couple of YouTubers that have used him, so I think that's what the links are that I have that I'll send you, or to the videos that he's
Yeah,
done.
thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so cool. All right, my
I
friend. I
appreciate
think we've
it.
almost spent 2 hours here, almost.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's flown by quickly. Like really, really good
yeah,
talk. Yeah,
time
I
flies
appreciate
when you're
it.
having fun, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
We got all the
It's been
serious
great.
stuff out of the way at the beginning, and then the rest was all
Yeah,
fun.
nice.
Well, the whole thing was fun,
Yeah, yeah,
but
definitely. Yeah, enjoyed it.
yeah, man, I really enjoyed having you
We'll
on.
have
I'm
to.
gonna have to cut it off here because I got to do some stuff. It's almost 10 o'clock my
Yeah,
time,
yeah, no
so
problem at all. No problem at all.
but I really appreciate you coming on, Elliot, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and all your artwork. and tell us how people can see your stuff.
My name is Elliot Rodriguez. I'm an artist, and I mostly I do fan art and I just in pinups with other indie projects. And you can find me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on. I have a Facebook art page also where you can see my art. I tend to post my art on Twitter frequently. I'm more active on Twitter than any other social media. So in case I don't respond back on Instagram or Facebook so fast, then that's probably why. But yeah, you can also catch me on YouTube. I recently started a YouTube channel where I'm posting videos about me drawing and just and like we were doing today, for example. Wookie was showing me some of the art, and I was talking about the process going into it, because there's always stories to tell with that. So yeah, I talk about my art. I talk about my drawing process, and I'll also use the channel as a means to update people on everything related to my own comic book, which I don't know when it'll come out, but I'm going to get started on it, and hopefully soon in a couple of months I'll be able to do a big reveal about the name of the comic, the main character, some side characters, and some more concept art. I'll reveal all that on the channel, and so yeah, if you're interested, please hit follow check out Ellie
I have your
Rodriguez art
link.
on YouTube.
Yeah, I have
Yep.
your link in the description here when it
Yeah,
gets
awesome. Yeah, thank you.
down below when it gets posted.
Yeah.
That link to your YouTube channel will be there, so that
Sweet.
people
Yes,
can
yes.
go and see what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm everywhere.
Yeah, you have to be. Get yourself out there.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast and everything, but everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming in. Everybody who's viewing this, and if you like what you see and you hear, please like and subscribe. And if you're watching this on the redo, on the rebroadcast, please comment down below in the comment section and give a like. And we really thank everybody for showing up today. And everybody have a great day.
Take care, everyone.